All right, guys, these are your channeled messages for March 12th through the 19th, 2026. But the messages are timeless. Whenever you find them, you're meant to find them. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's get it. First card out is follow your heart. Trust where you're led. Trust your heart and intuition to guide you and do what makes you happy. Second card out is free yourself. Allow yourself to imagine again. Be the real you. You are free. Get back to basics. Be a kid again. Be weird, unique, fearless, creative, and imaginative. Believe in magic again. And the last card out is behind the scenes action. Divine orchestration. Things are being hidden. See beyond illusions and trust the process. The overarching energy for this is that you can't see what's taking place in your life, what's happening right now. Nothing is as it seems. You can't trust the physical. You are in the dark, and you have got to allow yourself to use your heart chakra as the compass to guide you from this point onward. You got to listen to your heart and soul on what is right and best and true for you. Right? You're in dark, uncharted waters. There is no street signs, there's no road map, there is no, there's no one that can tell you where to get to where you're going but yourself at this point. You have to allow yourself to trust your intuition above all else. What feels right for what feels right and aligned with you. You're going to be presented multiple times with things of, maybe people are going to ask you externally, well, what does your intuition feel like? What does your gut feel like? What does your heart say? What does your intuition say? Because there's going to be cues, subtle reminders, if you will, from the universe, from the divine, from your higher self, kind of pinging back to you that you have got to trust yourself. Trust yourself on what you're feeling about a certain situation, about a place, a person, an opportunity, whatever the case may be here. You have to trust yourself, and because you hold the key and you hold the roadmap and you hold the blueprint. Only you and your heart chakra sonar system are going to be able to get you to where you're going and where you're meant to be, to who you're meant to meet up with, to what you're meant to be doing, to where you're meant to be going. Right? There's people that are going to come along the way to like help you with your mission, but like you have got to trust yourself to get there. Whether it be in your personal life, whether it be with your social situation, whether it be with your health, whether it be with your finances, whether it be with whatever the case may be, you you have to Trust you. Because it's midnight zone. It's the midnight zone. You're like when you're scuba diving. I give this example frequently, but when you scuba dive, you're not able to just pull the chute and just shoot back up to the surface. You're going from the Mariana Trench, right? The deepest point of the ocean's depth. You're in the crevice. You're in here in the crevice at the very peak here, and you're in the process of slowly rising up, but there is no light that reaches down here. It's nothing but darkness, and you're having to use your own bioluminescence to light the way as you're climbing to the ocean surface once more. It's a slow process. You have to do it slow, just as scuba divers when they're trying to reach the ocean surface once more. You have to do it slowly, you have to do it gradually, and you have to trust yourself and use your own light, your own bioluminescence, your own internal GPS to get you back up there. Right? So it's an uncomfortable process. It's a daunting process. It requires you to have courage. It requires you to trust yourself. It requires you to trust your intuition. It requires you to trust the subtle cues and hints that you're receiving. And then it asks you to go further than that and to act upon the intuitive hits that you have been given to take you to where you're meant to be, or to lead you to who you're meant to connect with. You're going to get there, but it does take time, and it takes you allowing yourself to walk by faith and not by sight into the unknown. This is the ultimate test of faith for you, the ultimate test of courage for you. And you have to allow yourself to be led by the universe. But you cannot trust what you're seeing in the physical, and that goes across the board. Use your spiritual eyes before you use your physical eyes. Because again, I always give like squirrel versus giraffe, metaphor of somebody might be presenting as like a giant giraffe, but like they're actually a squirrel. When your heart chakra reads and puts out that sonar system, they're like, oh, they're so cute, like they're they're very cute, they're little and they're cute, right? But this is there's a lot of illusionary energy that you're coming upon now, that you're stepping into, that you're it's like the Wizard of Oz, right? Where it's kind of seeing behind the curtain, but you're not able to see behind the curtain just yet. But you're approaching the curtain. You're starting to realize, maybe these people, places, or things are not as they seem, and you're seeing the illusions. There is a lot that is changing and shifting and taking place for you and around you and for your highest good, purpose, self, destiny, and timeline right now. But you have got to allow yourself to believe in the process that's taking place here, because there is this air of magic. I think Neptune's doing a thing now. I have to go back and look, but It's giving Neptunian energy with the illusions and with the magic and with the whimsy of the energy that's here. It's very elusive, and it can absolutely kind of sweep you up in it if you are unable to ground yourself in what is real and true for you. And if you are unable to be connected fully into your heart chakra in order to receive the accurate sonar reading, to in order to receive the accurate information and signals that are coming in as it's reading out there for you, as it's mapping the ocean's lands for you and giving you back that energetic feedback of what's in front of you or what's out to come. It's a time where magic can and is happening, but you have to believe in it. I feel like I'm telling a children's book here, like I'm reading some sort of children's book, but this is very much it. This is like you needing to get back into your childlike mentality of, when you were kids and you were outside playing in your backyard and everything was, oh, this is like Mario's castle, or like, oh, we're doing Zelda, this is Hyrule Temple. Everything was big and it was grand and it was magical, every single thing. Anytime the wind blew, one of your friends was controlling the wind, and maybe they were. You know what I'm saying? Because as kids, there is no limit to what can and cannot be done in a child's mind. And this is where you kind of need to be, because you have this ability to make magic happen. And it's a mind-blowing kind of concept and phenomenon for you to grasp, but you have seen it and you know that it happens, but it's like your grown-up logical self human mind wants to be like, did that happen? Is that able, can I, did that really, type of situation where it wants to try to talk you out, it wants to logic you out of your magic. And that's it's like fucking you. It's kind of like fucking you, because you need to allow yourself to be immersed in this childlike mentality and magic, because a lot of things are unlocking for you. A lot of things are being presented to you. A lot of things are coming up for you that you have been restrained from accessing and utilizing up until this point. And now is the time where you're supposed to be using them. Now is the time that you're supposed to be tapping into your create creative manifesting power. Maybe doing some coloring would be beneficial for you, right? To help you visualize, like look at a coloring book where it's just in black and white, but see it in your mind first of how you want it colored. Something about having to help retrain your mind on visualization practices will help you when you strengthen your visualization process. Your creative manifesting power amplifies with it. So just for me, the easiest way to work on that skill is to be able to color in your mind first. Okay, this part is going to be this color. that you see it and then you make it happen in the physical, right? Like these are small examples of you bringing from mental or from mental to spiritual to physical, right? So practice little things like this for you, or maybe for you it's pottery, but you see it in your mind first. How are you going to create this pottery, this work of pottery? It's going to be from the clay form to the finished product. What does the finished product look like? What does each step, what each phase of that pottery look like? Or maybe it's you're painting, right? What is it? See it in your mind first. What is the first brushstroke going to look like? And then what's that second brushstroke going to look like? And then envision it in your mind what that final piece on that canvas is going to look like. And then you start bringing it in from mental, spiritual, physical, right? These are ways to strengthen your manifestation, creative manifestation ability and power. And you need to allow that part of you to take the lead now. You you think it, you see it, you create it. These are the steps of manifestation. Think it, mental; see it, spiritual; create it, physical. Mental, spiritual, physical. Bring them into alignment together. And this is your recipe for your manifestations. But it's working on your visualization process that will aid you in bringing everything together most effortlessly. Have fun and be free, because you are finally free to be the real you. The card that's at the bottom of the deck is he said, she said, I roll. The streets are talking. What's new? Who cares? Let them talk. Focus on what makes you happy. You cannot please everyone. Keep growing, keep going. Don't read or respond to negative comments. We've got a repeating message of do what makes you happy here, do what makes you happy here, do what makes you happy here at the bottom of the deck, because it's you have had a perpetual repetitive habit of taking in account everyone, the well-being of everybody. You know, you're very selfless. You have the immense ability to zoom out and look at everything as the whole, right? Before you make a decision, even if it's supposed to be just a decision for you, you still zoom out and look at the panned perspective of everything to see how. And also it's the ability to see the multiple timelines of outcomes that I feel is what is also kind of hemming you up from doing exactly what it is that you want to do, because you're always getting this, like I was talking about with your sonar. Your heart chakra is robust. Your heart chakra is robust, is big dog. Like this is probably the most potent heart chakra, very active, very on point, very powerful heart chakra that I have felt in some time, right? So this is your powerhouse. And you effortlessly are constantly doing the sonar, constantly collecting data, constantly pinging out, constantly seeing different timelines, what's going on over here, what's going on over there, what's going on over here. You're gathering the information consecutively, constantly, all the time. Right. So you're always getting the feedback. You always know kind of for the most part, you know, energetically what's to come. You may not have the pinpoint of exactly when or exactly where, but you know, okay, down this way, there's this feeling of energy. And this feeling of energy feels like sadness, rage, chaos. Or this thread of energy down here feels like happiness, joy, glee, stability, consistency, right? Like you're good at this. So it feels like when you're zooming out, when there's a decision to be made, when you are thinking about your wants, needs, or desires, that topic, I'll make a mental note to circle back around in a second. But when you're thinking about your thoughts, needs, wants, or desires, you're subsequently also bringing in that energetic feedback of these different timelines, and you're subconsciously making a decision based off of which one is going to be the path of least resistance, essentially. Like what's going to cause the least amount of harm for the collective. This is what you're doing constantly. It's always about you checking the board to see which one of these options, which one of these paths or threads of energy presented to you will have the least amount of harm or ripple effect for the collective. And whatever one that is seems to be where you gravitate towards, regardless whether or not it's like what your want is, right? You do take into accountability, you do take into account your want, but it does not come first. It might come second or third. It's definitely top three, but it is not first. Your first is and has always been, how is this going to affect the collective? How will this immediately affect the people around me and the people that I don't even know yet in the physical? How will this decision or this want or need or desire that I have affect the masses? And honestly, like that's some unheard of pure soul type shit. And that's why you have the abilities that you have. But the repeating message of following your heart and doing what makes you happy is because it's that's so foreign to you. And the picking back up from this thread of energy that I put on hold while we were talking about this previously, is that when it comes to your wants, needs, and desires, that's difficult for you. It's like you have killed off your wants, needs, and desires. Like as far as, in your day-to-day life, you're like, I'm good. And you don't really want for anything. You don't really like crave or desire anything but peace. Like outside of that, you want to be able to have your material needs met, and that's like a normal thing, right? But like outside of wanting your material or health or financial needs to be met, like that's it. You don't really have, your soul craves nothing but peace. And it's like it's like you the, the more and more, if you haven't seen last week's video, this energy is definitely kind of piggybacking off it just on this particular topic of like, I see why this, I would say this is like 25 souls, if at that, maybe two handfuls worth of people that have this energy that I'm talking about, where it's like, I see why you're getting what you're getting and have been given the gifts, abilities, and powers that you have, because your soul is unbelievably pure. You're a good noodle. Almost too good. You know what I mean? Like, and you're you're well balanced though. Like it's like my hoodies say, I'm loving light but ready to fight. It feels like you have perfected your your very well yoked in your light, in your darkness. But what I'm saying is like when I feel, this is a heart chakra that is second to none. You're That's just potent. It is fully activated. It is robust. That's all I keep saying is it's very robust and it's very powerful. And it just lights your soul and your ethereal body and your astral body. Just everything about you is just radiant, for lack of better words. But you are very balanced in both your like you'd hate to have to, but you will. You know, we love and light but ready to fight. Like don't let this kindness take you for weakness, right? Like don't think that just because we got all this light, that we radiating and emanating all this light, and we have this unconditional love that pours from us, and that we're kind, that you won't get got. Don't get that twisted ever. Please don't make that mistake of ever thinking that we are soft just because we pack this heart chakra light, just because we pack this pure soul, just because we pack this imminent radiating sparkling light, right? Don't think that you won't get messed up, because that is the worst thing that you can ever think about these kind of souls. And that's exactly how a lot of people got. And a lot of people took the bait, and a lot of people thought like, oh, they so sweet and they're just innocent, and like, look at this like naive little lamb, this little baby fawn sitting out there, and as soon as you came to pounce, you got took out. because because not only we have the ability and the powers to sock you out on our own, but is now we don't have to do it, right? Behind the scenes actions takes care of a lot of people who think that they're going to prey on these types of souls. A lot of time, I've mentioned this before about a lot of us with this kind of energy being the bait, being the infiltrators of corrupt systems, people, places, things, right? And a lot of us having to go through some really unfathomable rough shit in our lives. But again, is because they think you sweet. They they think they're like, oh, look how cute and adorable. Oh, so cute and fluffy. Oh, yeah, so fluffy, right? And they don't think that you have the ability to be like, ah. They don't think that, and they don't think that you come in with the heat and the protection that you are packing, which is insane, because again, like, I feel this power. So like, how delusional and disconnected do you have to be for you to not feel that spiritually, emotionally, or physically? This is because that they heart chakras are intact, they're hollow. There's no soul there, there's no soul connection, and there's no connection to source. And when they don't have that, they're just blind. They just blind. So they are unable to detect your they're unable to detect your power. And so all they see is you presenting as a little damsel in distress, or like I said, like a newborn fawn struggling to stand on its own. Like, they think you finna be easy prey, and nay, nay, nay. It also feels like there's a lot of people talking about like, look, don't mess with her, or like, don't mess with them because, I heard X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It seems like now they're kind of like starting horror stories are starting to, because it's like stuff is starting to happen to people who have messed with you loudly. Let me say that again. People who loudly were bragging and boasting about how they did you dirty, or how they scammed you, or how they, effed you over, or how they did this, that, and the third to you. Loudly is what I'm saying. Loudly. All they were bragging about these things. Shit's raggedy in their life right now. Just as loudly as they were boasting and bragging about doing you wrong. Their disrespect for you and just as loud as their disrespect was for you is just as loud as their punishment. Their repercussions for doing whatever they did to you is happening right now, loudly, publicly, in the same manner. Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on behind the scenes. Please don't think, one more time before I close this out, please do not think that those of us who possess this type of demeanor of pure, unconditional love, this beaming radiance of light, of kindness, of gentleness, please don't think that we just out here ass out, unprotected, naive, like a damsel in distress or shaky leaf newborn fawn fresh out the womb, standing on our own. That's not it. We are the bait. The trap has been set. Take it if you want. And with that being said, thank you all for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and donations. And don't forget to check out the New Earth Guidebook to Healing and Ascension, available on Amazon. You can purchase the V Squad Oracle deck also in the link in the description box. And you can apply to work one-on-one with me or just book a recorded reading with me, just like this. Whatever the case may be, whatever your needs may be, I'm here. And check out Ascension Oracle V for all the other things. And until next time, I'll see you. V Squad.